Okay, last thing I'm going to say about this assignment, I'm not going to go over 7, 8, or 9. I'm going to let you work on those on your own. For number 10, when you write your story problem, you need to have a 3-digit dividend. So if you think about this organized this way on your paper, you need to have a 3-digit dividend that you're sharing, a 2-digit divisor, and then a 2-digit quotient. And remember, the quotient is the answer to your division problem. Okay? So dividend is your large amount that you're sharing or giving away. The divisor is how many groups or how you're sharing it. And then your quotient is your answer. So you guys write a story problem and make sure you write in complete sentences and do a good job. Make me proud. Hey friends, today we are going to practice our division using visual models such as arrays or an area model to divide. So I'm going to solve a few of these and show you how to use an area model, and then I'll show you the array second. Okay, but I'm not going to do the whole worksheet today. Let's divide 210 by 10 with an area model. Imagine that Miss Lynn has a huge pile of M&Ms. I have 210 M&Ms all together, and that's what this rectangle here represents. 210 M&Ms to share with 10 of my friends. So imagine 10 kids all lined up waiting for their M&Ms. Okay, there's my 10 friends. I'm going to use this area model to show how I would use compatible numbers to divide. So I know it's going to be easy for me to divide 200 by 10 in my head. And then I can do 10 divided by 10 to finish off the problem. So that's like saying first I'm going to pass out 200 of my M&Ms, and then I'm going to pass out 10 of my M&Ms. 200 divided by 10 is 20, so that would be like giving each of my 10 friends 20 M&Ms. And then 10 divided by 10 is 1. So now I'm going to give each of my 10 friends one more M&M, and now I'm all out of M&Ms. I don't have any more to share once I've done that. So each friend got 21 M&Ms. So 210 divided by 10 is 21. Now this is what we call an area model, because I used just a large rectangular area to represent my dividend. So your dividend is the large rectangular area. And then I went ahead and divided up my area into compatible numbers that would make it easier to divide. Okay, next we're going to divide 217 divided by 31. Now I saw an interesting strategy that another teacher used with her class recently. She told her kids, when you have a problem like this that seems tricky, try doing a brain dump about the numbers before you get started solving. Now, when I say a brain dump, I mean just kind of play around with the numbers and write down everything you know about the numbers and see if you can kind of come to anything that's helpful that way. So we're not officially dividing, we haven't selected a strategy yet. We're just thinking about what we know about these numbers. So I know that 31 times 2 would get me 62. So if I say that 217, sometimes it's good to have like some context to the problem. So let me just imagine that I've got $217 and I want to share it with 31 of my lucky friends. So if I give each one of my 31 lucky friends $2 to start with, I will have shared 62 of my dollars. That tells me that 31 times 20 would be 620, which is way too big. I don't have $620. I only have $217. So that's not going to work for me. I could do 31 times 3, and that would get me to $93. So if I gave everybody $3, I could share 93 of my dollars. And that's like getting close to about half my money. If I round my $217 to about 200, and then I say 93 is about 100, I'm kind of just playing around the numbers to come up with an estimate. So that tells me that maybe somewhere around $6 for each friend would get me close to $200. So let me try that. Okay, so for this problem, I came up with my estimate, which is somewhere around $6 for each of my 31 friends. I think it's going to be easiest to use my partial quotient strategy. I'm going to multiply up times 31 to try to get as close to 217 as I can, and I'm going to repeatedly subtract my partial quotients until I'm all out of money to share. So I'm going to begin by giving each one of my 31 friends $2, and when I'm done doing that, I will have shared $62. So I'm going to subtract my partial quotient of 62 to see how much money I still have left to share. Now remember, the best way for you to learn from a math video is to try to pause the video and take notes as we go. So now I have $55 left to share with my friends. Nope, that's wrong. I have $155 left to share with my friends. So let me go ahead and give each friend another $2. So I've handed out another $62 to my friends. Let me subtract that and see how much money I still have left to share. So 5 minus 2 is 3. And then I need to borrow here. 15 minus 6 is 9. Okay, so I've got $93 left to share. So I think I can do another group of $2 for each of my friends. And then I'm going to subtract that. And that leaves me with, oh my gosh, exactly $31 left. Oh, okay. So let me give one more dollar to each of my lucky friends. Okay, so now the question is, how much money did I give each of my friends? Now, in order to answer that question, I need to look at these numbers because these numbers represent giving each of my friends $2 and then another $2 and then another $2 and then one more dollar for a total of $7 for each friend. Okay, so that was pretty close to my estimate because my estimate was 6. 217 divided by 31 is 7. And the way I figured that out was by repeatedly subtracting my partial quotients. Okay, next we're going to work on 845 divided by 13. And hopefully you're starting to get an idea or get the sense that you can select which strategy works best for you based on the numbers that you're working with. So sometimes you might find that repeatedly subtracting partial quotients will be a better strategy, whereas other times you might find that an area model will work better. So that's where the idea of doing a brain dump when you first begin might help you, because it just kind of helps you to think about the numbers that you're working with and start thinking about which strategy will be easiest for you. So I'm going to start by I'm going to imagine that I have $845 to share with 13 of my lucky friends. I tend to use the same story problems over and over again, just because my brain gets into the habit of automatically thinking, okay, I'm sharing money with friends. And it kind of helps me to just make sense of the numbers I'm working with. So if I have 13 friends and I give each one of them $10, I will have shared $130. And I have quite a bit more money than that to share. I actually have $845 to share. So let me see. If I have 13 friends and I give each one of them $20, that would be $260, and I could even keep going from there. All right, so let me think here. If I have $13 and I give each, or 13 friends, and I give each one of my friends $100, that would get me to $1,300, and I don't have that much money. I only have $845, but I could get close to that. So I'm gonna make an estimate of maybe like around $70. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so I'm thinking for this strategy, I'm gonna do partial quotients again, repeatedly subtracting them. I feel like that'll be easier for me than doing an array or an area model. So I'm gonna do $845 shared with 13 friends. And I'm gonna start by giving each of my 13 friends $20. So that'll be $260 that I give each of my friends. Now I need to subtract to see how much money I still have left to share. And when I subtract, let's see. Looks like I have $585 left to share. So if I give all my friends another $20, that's another $260 that I've shared. And I need to subtract again to see if I can afford to give my friends some more money. All right, I've got $325 left to share. So let me do another $20 for each of my 13 friends. Okay, I've got $65 left to share. So 13 times, ooh, tricky. Well, 13 times 20 is 260. I don't have anywhere close to that amount of money left to share. So maybe I could just do 13 times 2 and give everybody $26. Or really it would be give each kid $2 for a total of $26. Okay. Let me subtract. 15 minus 6 is 9, and 5 minus 2 is 3. So I've got $39 more left to share. Okay, so 13 times 3 is exactly 39. So I can give each one of my friends $3 more, and I'll have nothing left over. All right, so now the question is, how much money did I give each of my friends? So for that, I need to look at these numbers because these represent the amount of money that I was passing out to my friends. So it looks like 20, 40, 60, 62, 65. When I add these up, 20 plus 20 is 40, plus 20 is 60, plus 2 is 65, plus 2 is 62, plus 3 is 65. Oh, I'm getting tongue-tied. All right, $65 for each friend. Next, let's work on 204 divided by 34. So if I want to stick with my repeatedly subtracting partial quotient strategy, I can imagine that I have $204 to share with 34 friends. So if I share $204 with 34 friends, let me write this. $204, 34 friends. If I start by giving each friend $3, that would be 102, right? That I was passing out to everybody. And that leaves me with $100 more, okay, $102 more to share. So gonna give all of my friends $3 more. And now I'm all out of money. And I gave each of my friends $6. Okay, now to connect this to our area model, let's say that we have this large area that represents our $204, and then I can say that 34 times 3 equals 102, and then another 34 times 3 equals another 102. Okay, let's use an area model to solve 720 divided by 12. Now, if you remember that multiplication and division are the inverse of each other, that can help you with this area model strategy. So we're basically saying 12 times some mystery number, we don't know yet. So 12 times what number will equal $720? So when I'm just in the habit of saying dollars now because I keep thinking I'm sharing with my friends. So this part of my area model or my array, this is my 12 friends. And I'm going to start passing out money to them. And as I pass out money, we're going to figure out how much money that we've given each friend going along this side of our array. Okay? And we know that we'll be done when we've filled up our entire array and we have no more money left to share. So let's begin by multiplying 12 times 10, and that will get us to 120. Okay? Now, if we give each friend $10, now we've shared $120, but how much do we have left to share? We need to subtract. We have $600 left to share. So now we could multiply So now we can multiply 12 times 5. That will get us to 60. And if you know that 12 times 5 equals 60, then you also know that 12 times 50 must be 600. So that would be like saying, now I'm going to give each one of my lucky friends $50 more. And so I've passed out $600 and I'm all out of money to share. So 600 minus 600 is $0 left to share. So the question is, how much money did each of my friends get? Each of my friends got $60 because first I gave each friend $10 and then I gave them another $50. Okay, now let's work on 640 divided by 21. So this large area here represents my $640 that I'm now sharing with 21 of my luckiest friends. Now along this side of my array, I'm going to keep track of how much money I'm sharing with each of my friends. And then this vertical part of my array, this is again my 21 friends. So let me start by giving each of my 21 friends $10. That will be $210 that I've shared. Now I need to subtract 210. So now I've got $430 left to share. So I can go ahead and give each friend another $10 and subtract that. What does that leave me with? 220. Okay, so I'm going to give everybody one more group of $10. And now I've got $10 left to share. Now with money, you could go ahead and divide that up and get a fraction or a decimal. Let's see. We've given each friend $10, another $10, and another $10. So that's 10 plus 10 plus 10, or 30, with a remainder of 10. 30, 10 over 21 is how you would write that as a fraction. I'm not actually going to split up this remaining $10 any more than that, because the purpose of today's assignment is more practicing the area model, and that's what we've done.